If your only source of income is from your day job, you're really missing out. In fact, most millionaires average 7 streams of income. By diversifying your income like this, you're able to lessen your risk while also saving more and paying down on your debts sooner than if you just had one source of income. Hi beautiful people, it's Courtney, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 side hustles that can make over $100 a day with absolutely zero startup costs. Some of the side hustles on this list, I've either tried them myself or I've used them from a client's perspective, and some of these I also want to try in the future in a video and make each one a specific video and go more into depth and show you how they work. So if something on this video catches your eye and you want me to go more in depth on, please make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I can make a full-on video trying it out for you guys. Number one is very cool and very unique, and that is paid research studies. This is something I have actually tried myself, and it's really fun. The problem with this side hustle is it's probably not going to be consistent work, but when you do land a paid research study, you could really make a lot of money. And basically how this works is there are different websites such as Amplified Research or Pinecone Research, both of which I have experience with. And how this works is these companies will send you emails periodically based on their clients' needs. So you'll get a quick little questionnaire you have to fill out. Depending on your answers, it will either qualify you for the paid research study or it will not. So you could kind of tell what the study is going to be about based upon the questions they're asking you, but you don't actually know what kind of person they're actually looking for. Maybe they want someone with good credit or bad credit, and they're just asking you what your credit is, what's your experience, do you pay your credit cards off early? They're really, really quick questionnaires, but then you'll either be approved for it or not. And they're all different. The ones I have done have always been like a one-on-one Zoom call, but there's also group sessions. Sometimes they actually give you a presentation and just want your feedback on it, whether it's through like a multiple choice questionnaire type thing. And basically it's these companies just wanting honest public feedback. And as I mentioned, they pay really well for your feedback. I've never seen any incentives under $100, maybe $75, but it's always more than that, up to $250, $300, and I'm sure some of them go a lot more, but that's typically the average that I see in the emails I get. And for your time, usually they're only asking 1 hour. Sometimes there's 2 sessions and they want like 2 one-hour sessions. But regardless, it's really good money for just giving your honest opinion on something. And although it's not super steady, I do really enjoy doing this. Number 2 is something I really want to try, and kind of along those same lines where you're giving your feedback, and that's being an online mock juror. So this is something I want to test out for you guys and see how easy it is to get jobs with, but it's definitely something I've heard a lot about. And basically attorneys will pay for a mock jury to see what their case sounds like to them and get feedback before the actual trial. This will help them improve their case or figure out their weak points. So I've heard a lot about this, and I've heard that it also pays really well. So I'm really curious to try this out. And they're, again, just online websites you could go to. So some of the biggest ones, if you want to check them out yourself, would be eJury, OnlineVerdict, and JuryTalk. So I will link everything I'm talking about and resources down below in the description box for you if you want to check out any of these side hustles. Number 3 is something I have shared on my channel, and that is being an Instacart driver, but this also doubles as a DoorDash driver, Uber driver, any kind of driving delivery service. And you could definitely make over $100 a day, and you don't really need anything to get started besides a vehicle and a license. I did a whole video trying out Instacart. I do want to try out some of the other platforms to see which one really does pay out the best. But really quickly, to summarize what I noticed, at least on Instacart, made me the most money was, 1, working on weekends because there was significantly more orders in my area. This does change depending on where you live. But number 2 is also looking for those peak bonuses, which also aligned with the weekends. So when I worked both weekend days for that video, I did average $20 to $22 an hour. So if you work for about 5 hours, you could easily make $100 a day, especially if you have even higher orders than that. Number 4 is something I think works really well and is a great way to build up your client base no matter what you do or what your skills are. This is something Andy and I have dabbled with, and we definitely want to make a video on it, but it's looking under Craigslist Gigs. If you're familiar with Craigslist, you'll know they have actual job listings on there for either either part or full-time jobs, and maybe that's not something you want to commit to because again, you might have a full-time job and you want a side hustle. So instead of going under the job category, you want to go under the gig category. A lot of these gigs are one-time projects. Somebody needs help with something like today or this week or very, very soon in the near future. If you didn't know, Andy's in school full-time and finishing that up and also helping me with all my stuff, but he gets very, very bored if he sits around, and this is like a great place for him. He has met a lot of people and a lot of connections through here. So he's had like moving jobs where they'll pay you $100+ for maybe 2 hours of work. So it's really convenient. And then you meet those people, and if they're moving into a new house, they often need different handyman work. So he has usually gotten multiple jobs off of one job just because he has a very broad skill set. And if you're a handy person, this is a great place to look. My recommendation is to stay on top of it. People usually post the day of, if not the day before. So if you check it first thing in the morning, you could also get to those job listings right away, especially if you have a flexible schedule. Number 5 is my personal favorite freelance work and what I find to be a very profitable side hustle. A lot of you guys may have seen my video where I make $120+ an hour on Fiverr. I'll link that down below. I actually converted my entire guest room closet into a sound booth, so I touch on all of that in that video, but basically that is the freelance gig, I guess you would call it, that I prefer to do. Luckily for me, I actually had the equipment I needed to get started doing voiceover work just because of YouTube, but I did use my profits to invest back into my business. But for me, it was a $0 startup. But if you don't have a microphone, you don't even like the idea of being a voiceover artist, there is a category for absolutely everyone on there. And a lot of them you really don't need much to start with besides a computer. So whether you like writing, there is so many different categories for writers, whether you want to be a social media manager. Fiverr recently put together a very interesting category called lifestyle, and you could find some really fun ideas in there. For example, if you love travel, you could put together different travel itineraries for people. If you love fashion, you could put together different looks for people just by sending them links and they could buy it. There's even a category for dating advice where you could give people feedback on their Tinder profiles or Hinge profiles. So there is honestly something you could find on there, and just start with your computer. Number 6 is cleaning houses and or Airbnbs, which Airbnbs could be very, very profitable to start a cleaning business and work with several different Airbnbs. You could clean one Airbnb multiple times in a month versus just someone who might need house cleaning every 2 weeks or so. There's lots of websites to look for online for this. I would start with Craigslist. I would start with reaching out to Airbnb hosts directly. I would start by looking possibly on Angie's List. You might have to pay to list there, I'm not quite sure. Or just posting on Facebook and reaching out to friends and family. And eventually, once you start, the word of mouth will just grow your business. I feel like house cleaning kind of gets a bad rap. Like, yes, it is hard work, but they could actually make between $25 and $90 an hour. And if you're the business owner, you could really just start hiring on cleaners and do less of the cleaning yourself and then pay them an hourly wage and take the rest of it for yourself without doing all the cleaning. Number 7 is Rover. So if you love animals, this is going to be for you. Rover is kind of like the Uber for pets. So whether you want to actually do the pet sitting or you need someone to watch your pet, you could use this either way. So they offer services like house sitting, where you go to the person's house and watch their animals, dog boarding, where the person goes to you and brings you their animals, or dog walking, drop-in visits, etc. I know in our area, the absolute cheapest cost to board your dog is $25. I would say up to $50 a night. Now those fees are per pet, and of course you can offer a discount for more than one pet, which a lot of people do have 2 or 3 pets. So if you're watching 2 dogs in your home for the weekend, plus you have to go out and do a dog walk or 2 for another client, there's definitely a way to get to that $100 a day threshold. It might be a little bit harder than some of these other side hustles, but there's definitely money to be made depending on how much effort you want to put into it. Number 8 is to teach children English or just teach children online. And you might think you need your teaching degree to do this, but you actually don't. All you need is a bachelor's degree, and they teach you absolutely everything else. I do know a few people who do this as supplemental income and a few who do this full time, and it's really great, especially if you love kids. You want to set your own schedule, and basically you host like small classes. So every 25 minutes or so you'll have a class, and the pay you can expect from this is between $15 and $25 an hour. So again, they'll teach you all the stuff you need to know, but as long as you have a bachelor's degree in any field, you can apply, and the two websites that I've heard talked about the most are VIPkids or Magic Ears. So this could be a great idea if you've always loved kids or ever thought about teaching. Number 9 is another side hustle that I want to test out for you guys, and this is selling digital items or prints on Etsy. So you could actually create your own prints on sites like Printful, and they will sync with your Etsy. So basically you're just designing these, and if people like them, Printful will print it and ship it to the Etsy customer. It's completely legal in terms of Etsy's guidelines because they do sync simultaneously together, which is really nice. There's a really smooth integration there. But if you love graphic design or you just like to be creative, doing prints could be a great option. But there's also digital downloads, which is a huge field in itself. Whether you like to draw clip art pieces or whether you want to design wedding invitations, there's digital downloads for just about everybody. So there's a lot of fun options out there. And what I think is really cool about this side hustle is that it's passive income once you create the actual digital download, because everything else is managed. Especially with it being digital, you don't have to ship anything, so you just upload the files, and when somebody buys that, Etsy sends that to the customer. So it's really cool, something I want to dabble in a little bit and share my experience with you guys. But overall, definitely something to look into if you like graphic design or just are very creative and have a good eye for design. Last but not least is flipping items, and this is actually a side hustle that I'm currently testing out for an upcoming video for you guys. And basically my husband and I are trying a variety of different flipping methods, whether it's finding free things on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and trying to clean them up and flip them for a profit, whether it's going to thrift stores, finding cool pieces of furniture and refurbishing them and then selling them for a higher price, whether it's finding free stuff on the curb and trying to sell what other people are pretty much trashing. We definitely want to try the flipping side hustle. I know a lot of people actually make a full-time income off of this, so it's kind of cool. So those are my top 10 favorite ideas for side hustles for 2021. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if you'd like to see me try out any of these specifically in the comments down below, and drop your own favorite side hustles in the comments down below so we could all kind of share and get different ideas. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Saturday for a brand new video. Bye.